Today we're going to talk about the Orbital Rift. So let's take a look at exactly what that is and how to get there. Before we do that, actually, let's talk about all the different towers in the game. And yes, indeed, there's a dog barking. Give me a second, fellas. Other things I want to show, and I showed it before, is that when you, let's say right now I'm swapping off of Wi-Fi, obviously I lose connection, and I'm going on to 4G. One click of a button. How do they do that? One click of a button. That's it. We're back. That's it. That blows my mind. One click of a button. We're back. No big deal. So anyways, all right, we're situated. We can do a video. Before we go into Orbital Lift, I want to point out Mirror Rift. This is very difficult endgame content where you can go and get currency to get accessories. You'll be seeing that from me in the future as I get my stuff together. Havenhold Tower, which I haven't really messed with, and I don't really remember what it does, so you'll probably see a video on that in the future. And then in Adventure, of course, you have Tower. And we did a little bit of Tower. We stopped super early on before we got a decent team, so I'm sure we could go a lot further, but you haven't seen me mess with this too much because it takes energy, and all my energy goes into the evolution dungeons. However, a popular strategy with this tower is to go as far as you can possibly go and then go back to Evo dungeons. So that actually makes some sense. I mean, look at this reward right here. That's 1,000 gems. So that's probably what we'll do with the energy that we get today. We'll push tower till we get stuck and see how it goes. But we haven't done tower in a very long time, so we should go pretty far. So let us go back to town. We've got our level 8 in. Our buildings are cooking. We got 1, 2. Oh, I'm waiting on energy, or I'm waiting on SP. Then I'll do another food and all that. But here is the Orbital Tower. So let's go to Orbital Lift. Super quick battles. It's PvE, and it's very comparable to Coliseum. You have a team of 4. You put them in there, they fight enemies, easy peasy, quick stuff. But you'll notice the rewards, and you do get a good amount of rewards. And the other thing that you'll notice that is very, very important, this does not cost energy. It does not cost energy at all. You can move your team around just like a Coliseum. You can swap your people, of course. But here you go, quick little battles, and we've neglected this for a while. But it doesn't cost energy, and I've been flying through. I think we were at like level 30 this morning, and then I just ran all the way up to 80, and I figured, you know what, maybe we should film this, because we're making quick progress now. We'll probably get stuck. There is a ranking chart on the side, and some players are at like 339, 349, something like that. So we'll see how far we get, but I've got a decent amount of rewards from this. Hopefully that wind is not killing us. I feel like everything is trying to make me not film today. But we got a decent amount of rewards from this. And once we stack up to like 70 energy again, I'll probably stop, and then we'll end up going to do Tower. Maybe we'll do Tower, maybe we won't. Those Tower fights are actually a lot longer, so we might actually not film that. Here I could film like 20 of these things, and it takes almost no time. But with the regular tower, it's kind of like a floor. You gotta play it and figure out. Some of them are puzzles, some of them are battles, etc. So who knows? Maybe if I get to some sort of random arbitrary achievement level like 100 or something, I might film that one just to give you guys a taste, especially for new players that might not have it unlocked yet. But there you go. Yeah, the Orbital Lift, very nice. I like games like this that have different content modes. You know, the game still is the game. You know, this is a, what do you want to call this? Like a top-down shooter? I don't know. Like a Zelda-like? I don't know what this genre is as far as the combat. But the game, it doesn't lose itself. It's not trying to be a bunch of different games. It's still the same combat, but they just kind of change things a little bit. So you got Arena, which is live action PvP against another player, 1v1s. You've got Coliseum, which is a 4v4 automated battle. but that's against another player. It's just not real time, it's automated. And then you've got the lift, which is like this, the same thing but in PvE. It's just nice little ways to rehash things. It makes it different, keeps it interesting, and I do like to see that. One thing I like about the game a lot as well is the fact that they basically only have one energy currency system. Now, Coliseum has its own kind of tickets, and Arena has its own kind of tickets, you could say, because you get a certain amount of tries per day. Same thing with the Event Rift and the Awakening Stone Rift. So that kind of breaks that mold there a little bit, but I feel like they've done probably as much as they can to just focus on energy. One thing I didn't notice because I just got so used to it, but a lot of other games have like 5 different energy currencies. You got your raid tickets and your GVG tickets and your energy tickets and then your trials tickets and then your ordeal tokens and I know why games do that, because if they can keep converting resources and changing things, it kind of throws the math away, and it's a little bit confusing for the consumer. Plus, if you're selling things, do you sell 50 energy currency, or do you sell 10 tickets and 10 coupons and 10 tokens and mix it all up? And that way, if a player, like for this game, if I want to buy energy, if I want to buy 50 energy, that's exactly what I want. I'm going to use all 50 energy. In another game, when they have different kind of energy currencies, let's say I don't want PvP tokens, but the pack sells 50 and you get 10 of each type. You're kind of getting me to buy a currency that I don't necessarily want, so you're going to sell more in total. You see what I'm saying? And also, the further you can get a currency away from the actual real world money value, the more it kind of makes the user feel like they're not actually spending money. That's one of the things. That's why I like casinos and any places that have gift cards and things like that. As soon as you convert something from money to anything that's not money, like a gift card, a coupon, a ticket, or whatever, the user, when they start spending those coupons, they don't feel like they're spending money. So it kind of takes that negative sting away. It's actually a very popular strategy for people that are trying to control their financial habits, is to only use cash, because there's a psychological sting that happens. And this is relevant at least in like boomers. I think it's less of an argument in like younger generations. But people that grew up with cash, every time they spend cash, they have that negative little ping in the back of the head saying, "Oh man, I'm spending cash. Man, I really hope this wind isn't messing everything up." But anyways, they say, I'm spending cash. Oh, that feels bad, and that helps them control their spending. But a lot of people, when they're using a credit card, debit card, gift card, coupon, anything like that, it doesn't feel like cash. They don't have that negative mental flick in the back of the head that says, "Hey, you're spending money." And these games do it. There's actually a really good documentary, I guess you could call it that. Believe it's on the Netflix or Amazon or whatever right now. Girlfriend was watching it last night, and the whole thing, they kind of hyped it up a little bit too much to make it more of a drama piece than a documentary, but it's basically poking at Facebook, and they're saying, here's a bunch of people that used to work at Facebook, here's all the evil psychological things that we did that all the other social media companies are doing too. And the reason I bring it up is because a lot of video games employ the same tactics of that, changing money from one currency to a virtual currency, so it doesn't feel like spending. Certain things to help get your friends involved, certain things to kind of track what the user does, making a model of the user so they can predict your next move. Okay, this user really likes energy tickets. If next week we sell a bundle that is 80% energy tickets and 20% some currency they don't use, will they still buy it? Are we able to sell more to this user? Stuff like that. A lot of the big video games track all that data. And I don't think most of that stuff is evil. For example, things that YouTube does, they'll say, okay, you like watching videos on games like this, so your YouTube is going to suggest you more videos from me, more videos from Guardian's Tale, more videos from games that are similar to Guardian's Tale, and YouTube's goal is to keep you on the website longer. And there's not necessarily anything wrong with that. I don't think there is. And for the user experience, what do you want to log into? Do you want to log into, your YouTube homepage with a bunch of makeup tutorials if you're a dude that wants to play video games? No. You want videos that are tailored to you. And if it keeps you on the website longer, I feel like that's just the natural course of it. So very interesting, and all of these metrics are absolutely used in video games that we play these days. You've all seen it before. For the past 15 years, Clash of Clans has been going on a rampage, and you get those messages from your friends where it's like, join my Clash of Clans clan and I get a bunch of gold and you get a head start, and I don't think those things are bad. It was just only annoying when you get spammed with them. But bringing friends into a game, there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, it's good. You'd have more fun if your friends were in your game, and then the game would have more people, of course. But it's interesting to watch it all develop. Psychology being used in marketing is nothing new. The reason why many fast food chains use red and yellow as their colors, when I was a kid, I used to think that just was a representation of mustard and ketchup and fries, right? Red and yellow. It's because people eat more in an environment with red and yellow. The thought crafting there, the theory crafting is that, God, this wind is going to kill this video. But the theory there is that red puts you in a more aggressive state, so you'll eat more. Green and blue are calm. And name any major fast food chain that's green and blue, right? We're gonna have to go inside. It's so freaking windy. Feels good to be outside today, though, gotta say. So now we're just gonna echo a ton. But name any fast food chain that uses green and blue as their main colors. I can't even think of one. If there is one, it might just be because they want to differentiate themselves from all the other big chains that you're thinking about right now. But usually, it's red and yellow because it makes you eat more. Same thing with the plates. A lot of restaurants use really big plates because if you have a really big plate, you fill your plate. And if you fill your plate, you eat more or you take more home. Same thing with the utensils. If you ever look at restaurant utensils versus the utensils at your house, they're usually a lot bigger, take a lot bigger bites and things like that. You can think about your favorite restaurants now that people used to go to before everybody had a shelter in place. These psychological tactics, none of it's new. None of it's new. There's a reason why after something good happens in a video game, you get the pop-up that says, hey, do you want to write our game? It won't happen after you lose a level and your character dies. They're never going to pop up and say, hey, you want to rate the game because you're going to be in a bad mood. You're going to leave a bad rating. They wait until you hit level 100. And you might think that, oh, come on, dog. Not today. Not today, dog. Don't you do it. It's not my dog, by the way. When we have the husky puppy over, the husky puppy barely ever barks. The huskies talk to you. They don't really bark that much, at least not my experience. But anyways, what we're talking about, we'll get it back. We're flying through this tower, this orbital lift thing. But, I had a good point and I lost it. But it'll come back to me, fellas. It'll come back. I do need the awakening. I have my Nari is up to 71. If you guys didn't notice, she is fully awakened. And again, some people have said that's not a good strategy. You kind of want to spread it out. Since she is my solo carry and she's my baby girl, I have no problems completely awakening her. She's going to be part of the arena team for the foreseeable future. She's going to be part of the Colo team for the foreseeable future. She's almost in every team that I do any meaningful content with. And a lot of the Coliseum battles comes down to everybody dies and she's by herself, and then she still wins with a 70% chance in those scenarios. So I got no problems with her doing her thing. But anywho, we were talking about how the plates are bigger. We were talking about how the forks and stuff are bigger. You get where I'm going with all this stuff. The manipulation. Oh, the reviews. So if something good happens, you hit level 100, you might think that the game says, well, we want players to have enough game experience to give us a decent, a valid rating. If you're not level 100 in our game, you haven't played it enough to really have a good opinion. No, they're just waiting for you to have a positive effect happen, then they put in a review in your face, and then you're more likely to give a good review. Same thing with doctor's offices. You go to the dentist or something. If you have a really good experience, the people that work there can tell that you had a good time talking to everybody. That's when they're going to hand you a tablet and say, hey, if you have a minute, if you feel like tossing us a review would help us out a lot, and you're like, yeah, I had such a great time, of course I'll give a review. They're not going to hand the tablet to the guy who's like, his tooth is all bleeding and stuff, and or his tooth cracked in the office or what. I don't know what dental maladies can occur, but you get my point. And I'm not saying any of that stuff is inherently bad. Now, paying for reviews, all right, if you want to give me a good review, here's a $10 Visa gift card. No. And I think that is specifically against most of these, game store, app store things. But asking for reviews, nothing wrong with that. And if you want to choose when to ask your review, I get that. But what do you guys think about that? How do you guys feel about all your data being collected? And they have a better model of you than you have of yourself. And if little Johnny, who in this example is over 14 to the COPA laws, if little Johnny usually plays for 30 minutes a day, how do we get him to play for 35 minutes or 40 minutes? That's what a lot of these things are doing. The social media, the way it works is they want to do three things. They want to get more engagement, so that's making you stay on the site longer. They want to grow, so that's that's your friends signing up. And then they want advertising revenue. So the longer that you're on one of these platforms, the more ads you will see. The more ads you see, the more money they make. You get how it goes. And there's nothing wrong with making money. There's nothing wrong with all of that, as long as it's not deceitful, I had a thought conversation with a friend who was talking about this because they noticed that one of my laptops, when I was in an office, I have a little piece of electrical tape over the camera. And I handle some confidential stuff, like a lot of confidential stuff, so it's important to me. And I've heard too many examples, and I'm sure some of it's fake news, but too many examples of webcams getting broken into and recording and all that kind of stuff. And it became conversation because I think it was one of the weeks where somebody saw Zuckerberg's laptop, and he had tape over the camera. Then everybody else started having tape over the camera, so it went from me being the weird guy doing it to everybody's doing it. But that was an interesting convo. We talked about the devices and this and that, how they're always listening in. And so I said, okay, here's going to be our little example today. We're going to turn off all of our cell phones in this room, turn off all our cell phones, have everything shut down, and we're going to talk about Jeeps. I was thinking about getting a Jeep at a time, one of them big old four-door things. It was probably a big waste of an investment, but whatever. Don't judge me. And so we just spent the entire time talking about Jeeps, the Unlimiteds, the four doors, beach and mountains and all that kind of stuff. That was the whole purpose of getting it. We talked about that for like half an hour, and then I saw the guy then the following week, and he wasn't really into Jeeps or anything. And he comes in with a smile, and he says, guess what all of my advertising stuff is on all my social media, on everything? It's Jeep, 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 Jeep. And my phone was off the entire time. I showed him my laptop, and it's just Jeep stuff everywhere. Keep in mind, I haven't searched for Jeep or anything like that. It was all based on that conversation, and our phones were off. And my work laptop's not hooked into any sort of social media or anything, cell phone, nothing like that. It should have no identifying information on it, and I don't use it for internet. But that's all I'm saying is, hey, that's what's up. I'm listening in. So smart advertising and using user data and stuff like that, it's not necessarily evil, but the potential for a ton of evil is absolutely there at all times. God, it's still so windy. There must be some nasty storm coming in or something. But anywho, you have managed to stay with me. I have managed to ramble to you for however long it took to get to level 100. You guys get the idea from here. We're going to smash 100. We'll do that little weird 101 thing, and then we'll wrap it up, and you'll see it from there. I probably won't do another video on this. I do like the content, but as far as videos, I don't think it's necessary. Until I get super, super high and I start to get stuck, then we will check that out. But I'm very curious on how high this team can go. I haven't touched Orbital Rift in a very, very long time, and my team has really improved from here. So every 50 levels so far, it appears that there is a special level that you got to go do and hang out, and you get a bunch of free gems. Also, speaking of free gems, I have the story mode completely 100%, except for one sub-stage on World 9. There is a chest that won't drop a ring. It's like a crappy ring or something, but there's a chest that won't drop a ring, but other than that, I have every single stage, reward, difficulty, everything all done, at least as far as you can tell by clicking on everything. Everything is 100%. So the reason I bring that up is because I am concerned that, no, not concerned, I mean, I knew it was going to come, but I feel like my free-to-play gems are almost over. So this is what level 50 or 51 was just like. Oh, the noises everywhere, we must run. We must run. I feel like at this point, if you guys are watching these videos, you practically live with me by now. You know when the dogs are gonna bark at 3 p.m., you know when the laundry thing's gonna happen, you know when the trash truck's gonna come and the guy's gonna ring the cowbell. Confidential department report. I don't really know what all these have to do with anything. It kind of feels like it's related to those little video clips that you collect and watch in your inn. Maybe I'll show those at some point, I don't know. According to numerous decoded video records. Yeah, because Tethys is the ship that's flying around up there, something like that. Or no, maybe that's the planet they're trying to find. So maybe this goes back to that. The story in this game is fairly interesting, and also they went very risky on World 9, and I think it paid off. They're touching a very, very a hot topic, I guess is the best way to say it. And I think they did it well. I do know they've had some issues in Korea. The woke community in Korea was very upset because something was translated, some insult in the game was translated to mean clown, and clown is apparently a term that refers to incels. And so apparently a giant portion of the Korean community got super pissed, and they decided to try to cancel the game, and it was a big drama, and they're still trying to win over the Korean community. But apparently Korea's got a massive woke cancel culture going on there. For some silly reason, I thought that was only exclusive to like English speaking countries for some reason, because I figured maybe other countries were smart enough to not try to do the whole cancel culture thing. But like many pandemics, I guess it's also sweeping the globe. So anyways, that's what level 50 was just like. It gave me a bunch of little prompts to read, and then here we go. I know that you fellas are eyeing my gems, so let's see how much free gems we have, and if I have enough free gems to do a 10 pull, we will do it. We have just enough. Kind of tempted. So I do have Bianca. I got her with a 100 pull, and I try to do my 100 pulls if I have any paid gems on me from some sort of special bonus or event or whatever it was. It's good value doing the 100 pulls, but I got Bianca from that. Didn't really want her, but I'm happy that I got her, and I don't really plan on using her or anything in the future. Orbital would be cool. She's apparently a very high DPS. You can see her being used there, but she's a dark hero, and there's word on the street is a dark tank is coming, so maybe dark might be the next team I look at. I still plan on focusing, now that Nari's basically finished, I want to focus on Earth, and then I'll loop back to basic, and then I'll make a decision based on that. I might do dark or maybe water, because I got Marina and Bianca now, I don't know, whatever. But anyways, do I pull for Arabelle, because I don't have her, And there's only like 3 heroes I don't have, so the chance of me getting a duplicate is super, super high. Or do I just roll the dice and hope that I pull a Bari or a hero I don't have? I think we pull for the Bari, man, because it'd be so long before I would use Arabelle. So let's see, do we get a bunch of hero crystals or do you get anything white? I got a Vishu and I got a Tinia from the free gem pull event. So I think our RNG's out. We do get a white box, probably just from the luck of... Hopefully I didn't just mess up the video. Let's just click through all this stuff. My skip button's covered by my recording thing. And a Eugene. That is the 3rd Eugene we've gotten. So maybe we should have done the Arabelle. But not going to complain. 73 hero crystals. That's nice. We have finished limit breaking Nari, so we're going to save up all the rest of our hero crystals for Bari. Assuming that we get Bari before she is nerfed. I don't really think she's going to get nerfed. The devs seem to prefer to buff other stuff versus nerfing stuff. I think that's usually the way to go, as long as you can find a way to control power creep. But there you go. You guys saw me pull a white box. I gotta say, this game has been very, 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 very friendly for free to play. If you don't want to spend a dime, you can totally do that. I'm surprised that they don't have any sort of like optional ads or something. That way they can find a way to get revenue out of free to play players. A lot of games, they have a really high portion of free to plays, as you might imagine. And games that have optional ads, if it's forced ads, it pisses everybody off and you can lose like half your player base. But with optional ads, where it's like, okay, if you want every 30 minutes or 60 minutes, you can watch a 30-second ad and get, 20 energy or whatever, they can make a decent amount of money with stuff like that, and it's for free. And when it's optional, nobody's really mad. There's always gonna be some guy who's mad who says, well, I don't want to watch the ads, and if everybody else is watching the ads and they're getting energy, I'm at a disadvantage. Screw that guy. Screw that. You're playing a free game, bro. Screw that guy. Don't be a hater. Don't be a hater. But anyways, all right, fellas, you get the point. That's what's up. We're gonna go jump into tower mode and see how far we can go. Anyways, I appreciate you guys for watching. Stay tuned. I'll still be doing the arena videos. That'll be the majority of my rant, unless I'm covering some content I haven't hit before. All right, fellas. Appreciate y'all for watching. Peace.